What is up, everybody? How's it going? Yeah, had some difficulties. As you can see, the camera's a little different. Same camera. Yeah, I was just messing with it, except now I got the edges are not cut out. So it was bugging the heck out of me, and I still haven't been able to fix it. So, but anyways, and I'm a perfectionist, so I sit here and will tinker with it and mess it up even more. So I hope it's clear. Looked pretty good. Evolve came in a little bit ago, said it looked good. So here we are. So hey, what I said I was going to talk about. Let me bring that up. I know I am pretty disgruntled. I am quite upset. I am not a happy libertarian, Dave. It is increasingly bothering me. You know, it's like, you know, and I know y'all were, you know, a few of you had tweeted me and stuff and had messaged me about, you know, doing a live stream during the debates and stuff like that. I got church tomorrow, so I'm not going to do that. And, you know, I understand y'all are fired up for it. And I know we did a good podcast during the presidential debate and everything. But it's just not the same without my guy on the stage. You know what I mean? It's like doing a play-by-play of a football game when your team isn't even playing. You know, it's just irritating, man. I mean, but what really bothers me most about it is that voters don't get to see. It's just the blatant, intentional suppression of that libertarian voice. And it's really the voice of the founding fathers. It's the voice of what began this country growth into the superpower that it is today. Freedom and liberty. You know, free market systems, people doing what they can. You know, that's why people would come here to America, all the coming to America stuff, you know, and why immigration was so big and, you know, America was so great was because you could come, anybody could come here and anybody could make it. You know, all you had to do is have an idea and a heart to work hard and you could make it. And it's absolutely not like that anymore. Now you got regulations and taxation and all this government impediment against your ability to prosper. You know, and people are just blind to it. And you have one voice out there that's trying to tell people that this is why this country is the greatest country in the world. And it's not because of these two old, crooked, corrupt parties that we have running our government. It is in spite of them. And if we continue to keep voting for them, it's going to continue to get worse. Our country's going to continue to get worse. No matter which one you vote for, you're just voting for more government. And more government isn't what made this country great. Less government is. And it's just a shame. Y'all are not going to get to hear that voice on that stage. And, you know, and I wonder, have any of you, you know, went and watched some of Joe Jorgensen's videos, watched some of Spike Cohen's videos? Have any of you done that? You know, have I reached anybody? I don't know what you're talking about, babe. Girl, not guy. Change background colors to a cooler one. I don't have a cooler background. So yeah, that's just what's, I don't know, man. It bothers me because I see the injustice that's being, you know, done to the American population by not having that voice on the stage. And it's not just the debates either. It's not just that Joe Jorgensen or Spike Cohen are not in the debates. That are 81 million people, I think, watched Trump and Biden bicker like a couple of school children. You know, 81 million people watched that garbage just to say, well, that was a waste of time or that was garbage, you know, because there was no substance to it whatsoever. But 81 million people watched it. I bet you how many of those 81 million people even know who Joe Jorgensen is? But what would have happened if she would have been on that stage and 81 million voters would have seen her speak? Would they have all of a sudden converted? Absolutely not. And you're going to have your Republicans, you're going to have your Democrats, the ones who are just so blinded by their stupid party loyalties that they refuse to see anything, no matter how logical or how much common sense it has. They're just not going to see it. You know, and I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the more than, you know, probably 70% of that 81 million that was watching to see if there was some hope for America. Looking for some glimmer of maturity in our political system. Looking for somebody that they could grab a hold of and say, this is my candidate. You know, there's a ton of people that could say, you know, Trump, this is my candidate. I mean, do they really feel that way? I mean, and what type of person would want to lift a person like Trump up on a pedestal and say, oh, yeah, this is my guy. Yeah, I know he's a narcissist and he's egotistical and he, you know, could be a racist and, you know, he, you know, bans, you know, he doesn't believe in the Second Amendment. And I know he hasn't reformed welfare and he wants to build a wall around the entire country and not let anybody in because he thinks they're all, you know, crazy people that want to do us harm. But, you know, this is my candidate, you know, or Biden. You know, I know he might have dementia or, you know, he wants to socialize everything and take all of our money to pay for it. But, you know, this is my guy. It's, I don't know, man. But then they have one voice up there that says, nah, you're responsible. I trust you as adults, American public. You do it. I'm going to get out of it. And I'm going to give you your money back. I'm going to let you keep your money to do it with. It's just, that's my rant, man. I mean, I just, Evolve be in a minute. He's got a video we're going to watch. It's Republican and some libertarian rapper or something. He wants to do it's like a reaction to it or something. So it sounds like it's going to be interesting. So we'll see what it's all about. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for him, this is what I'm talking about, man. This voice that needs to be heard, by the American people. I got to find it now. It shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be hard for me to find it. So I was killing some time hanging out outside, hoping to pass out some, Joe Jorgensen yard signs and bumper stickers and stuff. But of course I didn't, but I was there. So I just started listening to some videos and stuff. And I really like, how Spike Cohen speaks. You know, I like how he speaks. He's really passionate, really articulate. You know, I can only hope that I could come across as well as he does. So I want to share, if I can find it fairly quickly. What am I doing here? I did something wrong. Oh, here we go. Notifications. He did one. Is this it? Was this the one? Here, no, this one here. He's talking about mental health issues, but, you know, he talks about it in a way that I hadn't even considered. Well, I had considered it, but I just never really put it as well as Spike does here. And I want to share it with y'all. Let me blow it up here. What is, oh man, you know, theater mode? No, we'll go full screen. I don't know how well, it looks kind of thing, but anyways. You need a big banner that says something like, ask me about a third party, a change for a change, something like that. Maybe, babe, maybe.
Hi. Drove a little ways to get here.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for stopping. I'm so excited. I have notes just for my question.
Sure.
With the deinstitutionalization nationalization of mental health facilities between 1955 and 1994, so many people have been pushed into other realms like prison and different things.
Yep.
Does the Libertarian Party, specifically you and Joe, have any plans to help with the mental health crisis that we have in America as far as those that are left in prison systems and just homeless and domestic violence, all these things?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have a plan?
Absolutely. So when we see what contributes to mental health, which is being turned into a criminal crisis, because when we look at the reasons for example, addiction, the biggest reasons for addiction are all health related. Okay, well, the narrative we were taught in school that people that use drugs are just junkies and we need to put them in jail to keep the rest of us safe is nonsense. The reason people have addiction problems is because of mental health, PTSD, psychological trauma, chronic pain, other chronic health issues. It leads to addiction. Social stratification, there are all these things that lead to addiction. Do you know another thing that leads to addiction? Homelessness. Do you know what leads to homelessness? Infringements on our lives and rights and properties that make homes, the value of the pricing of homes increasingly unaffordable and illegal to provide affordable housing. The way that you deal with these things is you get rid of what caused it in the first place. We so often look at the consequence of something and try to figure out how do we solve the consequence. We have to look at the root cause. The root cause of so much of the mental health problems in this country right now are that people who have addictions and mental health issues are being criminalized instead of being treated. And those who would try to treat them have such a high regulatory burden that they have to reach in order to be able to provide assistance, especially to those who are addicted, that they are unable to legally do so, which means the only resource that is often available to the homeless and those with mental health issues and those with addiction is prison. That is the problem. We deregulate, we allow people to help other people without them having to get a helping people license, which is essentially what we have right now. We deregulate things like zoning so that people can build the affordable housing that there is clearly a demand for. We stop this era of NIMBYism where someone says, oh, I don't want this affordable housing in my community. I want to preserve the character of my community. And then, of course, they drive around and complain that there are so many darn homeless people around that they won't allow for affordable housing to be built for. We get rid of these absurd regulations that do nothing but infringe upon the lives, the rights, and property of the people and lead to these bad, abusive, harmful, and inequitable outcomes. And a lot of these problems get better. There will always be a mental health problem, unfortunately, but there are people who want to help. Make it easier for them to get help, make it easier for the people to give help who want to give it, and remove so many of the catalysts that are making the problem worse and contributing to more people with mental health problems in the first place. Thank you.
That's right.
What's that?
They need real help, not punishment. That's right.
I can't hear you, but I appreciate your enthusiasm.
I said they need real help, not punishment. You are correct.
That's right. Exactly. They need
real help.
They need real help and not punishment. We need to stop treating health issues like criminal issues.
Damn right.
Thank you.
Damn right. I Spike, how would they?
Hello.
Some spike for you. Welcome, the Evolve.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Nice.
Excited to be here.
You got like the Saints on your hat or something? That's why you got flipped around?
Nah, it's all Mark.
Oh, it's Mark Wahlberg.
It's Mark. It's Mark.
I don't understand that. But
No, I guess I got a dealership. So
we made it.
there we go. How's everybody doing? What's happening, man? Great to be back. All that good stuff.
Well, she looks good for being COVID positive. Huh?
There you go. She does. She's Fox News. She's Fox News.
No, she's not Fox News. That's
Oh.
Kelly McKinnon.
Oh, okay.
McCann, whatever. It's Trump's press
yeah,
secretary.
yeah, it's press secretary. Cool. Okay.
I like this guy. Thomas Sowell. You ever heard this Thomas Sowell?
I haven't.
He's one of the
This
greatest
man.
economists. He's a very libertarian economist.
Cool.
So, wait, hide that.
All right. So
B Square.
Yo,
Good to
what's
see
up?
you too, man.
good to see you. We're happy to be here, man. And
Turn this fan on. You came in, it got hot in here.
I know
You must be
we bring the
hot-headed.
heat.
You bring the heat around.
We bring the heat. I'm here to bring the heat. See, that was a metaphor.
Far.
Oh
You
man.
got- You got your southern slang over
Right.
there.
Southern man.
Man, this thing is killing me. It's squeaking.
So what's on the
Yours
agenda?
don't squeak.
today?
Why is mine
No,
squeak?
mine is nice.
I
feel good.
I put WD-40 on both of them. I don't know why
okay.
this one's still squeaking.
You got it fresh looking. We're here in the
Oh, now,
lovely.
now you look like David. I look like God.
There we go.
Anyways.
So what's been happening, everyone?
Oh, did you hear my
Swear-
rant? I just went on a rant.
I
just
was
been upset.
trying.
I've been upset.
What
I'm
have you been
just
upset
tired.
about?
I'm just tired of libertarians being ignored.
Being ignored, can't
You know,
get
we
on.
got this. I mean, every 4 years, man, it's like we get this disgusting garbage
Okay.
that the Republicans and Democrats want to try to shove down our throats. And meanwhile, you have a quality candidate. Now, do I think everybody would
West
vote for
side.
her? No, but I could only imagine the amount of people that would connect with the
Mhm.
libertarian message, with Joe Jorgensen or Spike Cohen's message, if they had the opportunity, if it was put in front of their face. But they just don't see it.
They don't see it.
You
so
know what I
they
mean? And
can't
I
vote
could only
for
reach
it.
so many people when Facebook is unpublishing my stinking pages and stuff.
So,
and
yeah. But she is on the card and in the booth, so the only time some of them see their numbers when they go. See
It's
her
too
name,
late when
she
you get
goes
into the
there.
ballot. When you
she
get in there
the
to-
ballot,
when you get in there to do your ballot, you're gonna be like, "Oh, who's this no name?" You're not gonna vote.
No vote.
You know, unless you plan on protest voting, which a lot of people do. They're like, "I'm voting for anybody but Joe Biden and Donald Trump," and they'll vote for.
We're gonna have a lot of protest votes this year.
I think we got a lot. We probably won't get as many protest votes this year as we got last year.
Think
Who do you
so?
think is the worst candidate, Hillary or Joe?
No, I think this year might be record breaking. Neither one of them. Not a lot of people.
Who do you
voted.
think is worse, Hillary or Biden? Clinton, the murderer, or Biden, the old man you kind of feel sorry for? Hillary, the corrupt black, Illuminati, black market,
Mm-hmm.
Epstein gonna get me tonight probably. If I die tonight, you know why. That one, who likes to go for walks in the woods,
Right.
but we don't want to run into her.
I seen that tweet of yours.
Or Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe.
I mean, who is a worse candidate? I mean, who's gonna drive more people away? I think Kamala Harris probably will drive about as many people away as Hillary. I don't remember who Hillary's running mate was.
I don't know. I didn't really follow. I didn't
Probably a contrast to her, anyways.
didn't vote. Vote.
You didn't vote?
I didn't vote that. No, I wasn't down with either one. Actually, I wasn't feeling.
The last.
I wasn't feeling. But I wasn't feeling either candidate. Not Obama nor neither one.
The last Republican I voted for was the very first time I voted. Wait, right? The last old party candidate. So in '92, I voted for Ross Perot.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I vote. It's really hard to vote when you're deployed, every election cycle because of some stupid reason or another.
Okay.
So I don't know if I voted, but I know I voted Libertarian since 2012.
Oh, okay. All right. Good stuff. So you got a little history of voting. No, I think I did Democrat before, but then I started voting Republican. They had more. No, the last I actually did. It was Bush.
You voted for Bush?
I did. That was 2000.
He was more Democrat than Republican anyways.
Yeah, that's probably.
There hasn't been a real solid Republican really. Yeah,
that's what it was.
I don't even know, man. I was even trying to think about that. I guess Reagan was a really solid Republican, but I mean, even him and that military spending thing is just pretty anti-Republican.
I don't think what most people know, but when you go way, way back, I guess with our culture, most people don't know, but the first election that we won, I'm speaking of African Americans, first election that we won, we voted Republican. We started off Republican. African Americans, we voted Republican.
Really?
Yeah, we were African American.
Talk to me, Goose.
Okay, all right, so check this out. Okay, so we know the 15th Amendment, 1870. 15th Amendment, it said that all males had the right to vote. So we had the record number of votes, and if you count this up,
13th Amendment, yeah.
13, okay. 1880 election.
That would be the first election at
Southern, and it is the nation's in U.S. history the biggest turnout ever in the U.S. as far as votes. black people percentage-wise.
Population. So
Yeah,
like percent. Yeah, voter turnout by percentage.
Voter turnout, but not just that. Every 92. This is, you can look this up. 90. I did a whole when I was in college. This was big. 92% of 92% of African Americans that were eligible voted. That was we started voting. There was a time in history when it all started, when we had the right to vote and it was just free without any regulation. We turned out. There was more black votes. There was more turnout for the blacks than whites. So that's why after the Reconstruction era, the southern states, they came up with ways to depress the black vote. Like they came up with poll taxes. They came up with literacy tests. Even in the
1880s, they had to fight to get to the polls. There was blockades to the polls, so they would literally have to come together and push their way into the polls to vote.
You look it up. I'm not just feeding you. With blacks, they account. This is why they came up with, because so many blacks. They didn't want the black. And who did the blacks elect? They elected and people thought it was weird for the blacks to elect someone from the northern states, a Republican, and not the southern person. I forget who it was, but we didn't. But it makes perfect sense to me because
Abraham Lincoln was a Republican.
But
Abraham Lincoln freed them, so it makes perfect sense.
Exactly. See, the southern states, who was the Democrats at the time, in 1880, they were the Democrats, where slavery was going on and all these. So this Democrat, they had, the president that they elected, the person that they put forth, obviously they're in favor. They're in favor of slavery, and they had different laws and policies that worked against blacks. So that's why the blacks voted for the northern states. That's why the northern states. That's why the Republicans got not just their northern states electoral, they got the southern, because they got all these black people. It was. That's why
you're getting at that because the blacks in the South they won the Electoral College in the South as well. So the Republicans were able to win the electoral vote even in the southern states.
And they knew that. They knew that. The northern knew that. So that's why they catered to. See, the northern. They was like, oh yeah, free them, give them that. They didn't care because they didn't have slaves. We talked a little bit about this. The northern, they didn't really need it. They didn't find a need like the southern. It wasn't part of their economy. So the northern was like, give them all Republicans. While the southern states were, we need these slaves. So the northern could make all types of promises, and that's why
I gotta go work my own plantation.
So that's why we started off. That's how we started off as Republicans, and it was always like that. It was always like that. And then not until like the 1940, the Democrats start to get smart, and they're like, hey, we need to start catering to the blacks so we can keep, because from that election, the Republicans, they won. They had that wasn't just the biggest turnout, but the Republicans went on to win for the next 6 elections, 6 years in a row. It's the longest standing record till date for Republicans. If I'm not sure, but it's 6 years is the longest held that a Republicans kept
6 elections.
Yeah, 6 elections, and they went on from there. And then the Democrats was like, hey, all right. So
see what happens when you vote for a third party.
So that's kind of how that.
But the Republicans were the third party.
The Republicans were,
because you had the Whig Party and the Democratic Party, and Abraham Lincoln was a Republican.
James Garfield, that's who we voted for. Yeah, James Garfield.
Yeah, he was the Republican.
Ohio State.
Who took
he's from Ohio.
He took when Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. That's what the rise of the Republicans and the basically that was the end of the Whig Party.
Mm-hmm.
And the Whigs were the really who was one of the Whig? Was Adams Whig? Jackson was a Democrat. That's why the donkey is the Democrats' symbol. Is because of Andrew Jackson. Because in the campaign, Andrew Jackson, how I remember it, because that he was a Democrat and the donkey is because they said Jackson the jackass.
Oh,
so Jackson,
okay,
jackass,
got it.
And then that became the Democrat symbol was a jackass. It was actually the Democrat symbol was given to them by the Republicans. So if you think they're not in bed together, they've been in bed together since back in Andrew Jackson's days.
But let me tell you something else. Like, I don't know, people hear about poll taxes and just how effective they are, but people don't know the extent and kind of how sneaky they were. But even with poll taxes, so when they implemented that after there's like, hey, we're gonna, like a place like Louisiana, and I had this in my report, a place like Louisiana, they had 130,000 registered black voters. 130,000. Did you not?
What year?
Yes. This would be your this is going to be 18, let's say 18, your late 18s, you're 1884. Look it up. Fact check me.
I'm not fact checking you. I'm looking to see if Lou's sending me a background.
That way I'm on.
I thought she was going to send me the background.
Oh, so
wow, that's a long post. Oh, this is our. Jeez. See, this is where we fail. This is where we fail right here.
No, but like I was saying, otherwise on that. So they had an 8 eligible. Let me back. These were eligible. They had over 130,000 eligible voters. 1895, 1896, and they implemented this poll tax, and out of that, only like 1,200 registered. I mean, obviously the poll tax, it was there to stop poor. It stopped poor whites and blacks, and blacks basically, but they know that whites are in their favor, so they still found a way to make sure that we can get that poor white, but we can't say, hey, they're exempt. So what they did was they said that to keep it so that this poll tax won't just affect, because it was affecting the poor whites too. So what they did was they came up with a clause. It was a grandfather clause. And basically what the grandfather clause said that, listen to this, they said blacks too. It had blacks, white, everyone. It could apply for anyone. This is the clause. You're exempt if before the Civil War you had an ancestor that voted, then you're exempt. Blacks or whites, and they so obviously all the poor whites. Obviously not us.
That's why you don't. That's why you want to limit government power. I mean, that's the argument right there. You want to limit government power because even if the government power is being used in your favor today, don't think for a second it won't be used against you tomorrow.
It will be used against you tomorrow. So.
That's why you want to limit government power. Government's the only institution that can oppress us, that can legally kill you, legally put you in a cage, legally steal your money. Government's the only institution that can do that.
Then
the only one. And you want to trust it with more power. And the media wants to silence the only voices that want to say no more.
And then
it's ridiculous, man.
Then you have
the political environment in the United States is what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, and it's not long ago. I mean, this is
it's a mess.
Yeah, it's
what's a word for an extreme mess? It's a mess.
Yeah,
I thought I could affect some change this year. I hope I did somewhere somehow, but I thought I have a lot more impact. But I mean I'm just kind of down because I was really hoping that Spike would get in the Spike and Joe would get on the debate stage. I was just really hoping that that would happen. And man, it just seemed like there was more effort to silence Joe Jorgensen than there was even for Gary Johnson. It was like they weren't threatened as much by Gary Johnson, the former governor, and Bill Weld, the former governor, than they are by a PhD and a podcaster. Because Spike Cohen, well, he's a business. He created his own web design business and sold it. And then now he sold it so he could go after his real passion, which was podcast for liberty, like I do, you know. So maybe after the election, you can give me some pointers.
Yeah, it's just
throw me some subs.
Just
I'm gonna get him on my podcast. I'm gonna ask him. I bet you he'll do it.
Gotta ask him.
Bet you he'll do it.
Got me thinking about all those stuff now. My mind is going, because you know they, and then you know, then you get, and it went until like 1964 that you know that they abolished the poll. You know, it took that long. So we went 60 years. We went.
And then there was the 5/6 or something like that.
Yeah,
right? Like a black person only counted as like 3/5 of a person or something like that. Wasn't it like like 3/5 of a person? So
it was.
It took like 3 to make up, or it took 3 to make 2.
Yeah.
So basically, 3 African American votes only counted as 2.
So
I mean, they did all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it was.
But I mean, that's where a lot of our really powerful election laws have come from that have protected us. And you know,
it's kind of like with the slavery, where you know I hear you talk about it quite a bit. How you know whites, they got a massive head start. That's why you know they weren't able to build that wealth.
I don't know if did we talk about this?
I don't know.
Or maybe we were talking in the living room.
Maybe we were talking in the living room. I know you had a massive start, and it's the same thing. And people don't look at it. They wonder, okay, so why ain't the blacks coming out now? And you know, it's the same thing. You think, you know, for so long after
welfare state,
welfare, and
the thing is
until 64.
The thing is, this is an interesting fact, and you can check my stats if you want. But prior to the welfare state being established in the late 50s, early 60s, black community, black families,
all this
they had a blacks had a lower divorce rate. So black families, once married, were more likely to stay together for life. They had a lower divorce rate. They had a lower single parent rate.
Yes.
They had a higher employment rate. They were like 35% more employed than white people based off of percentage. You know, like people were eager to hire black people. And then really think, and I was talking, me and Bethany were talking about Bethany Hatch, who was running for State Senate District 29. We were talking about this, and you know, before the welfare state threw the shackles back on the black community, they were on pace to be more prosperous, more successful, and better off than white people. They were going to surpass us easily if you look at the trajectory of African Americans, because we had a 400-year head start on them as white people. And then as soon as they got let out the gate, boom, they were gone.
We came out voting. We had record numbers. We had
voting, but it wasn't just voting. It was in education. It was in schooling. It was in skills and trades and everything. I mean, on pace to. So then the welfare state comes along and be like, look, we had a 400-year head start, so we got to give you these handouts now in order to boost you up so you can catch up. If you'd have left them alone, they would have passed us up.
And
by now,
and it all goes back
to
voting for these why these handouts are. This is the foundation of everything. The Democrats is like, we need to win them over. Republicans, we need to win.
You haven't been treated right.
Yeah.
You haven't been treated right. You need to be treated right.
So
we're going to treat you right. We're going to give you this and give you this and then
they took a page from the Republican, and that's why it all started with votes. When you think about that. Yeah, there's like, man, they're steady getting our southern states. They're steady getting.
It's all about
how can we get these black people back on our side?
I mean, you look at the statistics. If the welfare state would have never been established,
that's why that's why they did it. It wasn't because they cared, you know, that you have good housing or food on your table. It all came back to November. It all comes back to November. It never
But
was about.
I don't know if it was an intentional consequence or not from that.
Yeah.
I think your reason is probably the reason why they do it, because that's the reason why the Democrats and Republicans do anything, is just to get more votes. So, that's probably right. But the unintentional consequence or intentional consequence of it was to severely repress the Black community again.
Yeah.
Basically enslaved them again to the welfare system. And we went through a whole podcast about that. But the interesting statistic was how that prosperity rate, the family unit, now the divorce rates are higher. And I don't know about higher, but the divorce rates are comparable. Single family is way off the chart compared to white people. And I mean, and that's where I think is the downfall of the community anywhere. When you don't have two parents in the home, and you can definitely attest to this.
Oh yeah.
When you don't have two parents in the home, it creates generational poverty mentality.
It does.
And if you don't know what poverty mentality is, then yeah.
I mean,
the pastor was just talking about that.
Oh wow,
poverty mentality this morning on our Zoom meeting.
Right. I mean, it's so funny, and you think about, and that's what I mean. These Democrats, they tried three things. First, they tried. Yeah, all right, we got Southern. You guys are in these states, vote Democrat. That didn't work. Republicans were winning. So then they, what they tried next? It kind of leads into what we were saying. So then they tried, to just suppress. All right, so we just got to stop them from voting. So we had the poll, and we had the, and it's not
the walls and the
we're
shields.
gonna put up the walls, and it's like, all right, so this is not where we start abolishing, and then we stop in 1970. We stopped the literacy test, just in 1970. It ain't long ago. This stuff ain't happened long ago. 1970, we just said that you can't do that anymore, but it still goes on. You take a place like just recently. Let's take early 2000s. Just recently, 1999, there in New York, 100, Florida decided to come up. They came up with a law. They called it the Florida Central File. And it was they called it the Florida.
Well, that's got George Orwell written all over it.
It's called the Florida. Look this up right now. It's called the Florida Central File. So what it was done, it was to stop. They said it was to combat fraud voting. No, so what it did, so they created an AI system that would, if you were, because apparently there was a lot of convicts, people were using convicts and felonies. So the system, if you had a convict name, if you're in the system, the system would stop you from voting. It would cancel your registration and whatnot. You couldn't vote. 130.
So Marcus Johnson.
Yes, that's what happened in Florida in 2000. Dave, look this up. 130,000 people could not vote that year. And guess
every Johnson, Jackson, Washington.
And that's exactly 89% of that 130,000 were Black people that could not vote. This just happened. And and there was this big, massive lawsuit. Basically, they said the AI system got messed up, and it was people's names that were similar to convicts accidentally got yeah. So it was insane. You gotta look this up. Florida Central File. They've been doing this. This is not something. No, I mean, there's a case of New York back in 2018. There was another big thing that this judge did. But yeah, like I said, it all starts from there. But the funny thing is that the Democrats have been trying so many different things. So now they kind of found something that works. They kind of found the welfare, and let's give them money. Let's give them stuff. I'm looking at this. You got a new thing, I guess. Is that something else? I guess. Did you get a bunch of, or was that? I was looking at your T Report Twitter.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what?
No, I see politics trending. Texas 21. I'm like, what in the world?
Texas
Why is Texas
trending? Oh shoot!
Why is this trending?
We trending. The great grandfathers were working hard.
Wendy Davis, U.S. House candidate, Texas 21. The thousands of people supporting our campaign.
She raised $3.4 million in the third quarter. Her
Jesus.
opponent for Republican City, Chip Roy.
Her opponent for Texas 21 is Republican U.S. Rep. Chip Roy. Who do we got? I wonder if we have somebody running in this. Why is it trending?
Texas State Senator.
He's a Green Party guy. Yeah, I don't know why it's trending though.
She's winning. Wendy Davis.
Oh, I guess because she announced she raised 3.4 million.
Yeah.
All about that flow.
There you go. If you want to trend, guys, raise them. Show your money, man.
I guess so. Flash that
Show the money.
Yeah,
you can pay to be trending. I don't know. I was looking. It was kind of funny. I guess you're in some type of other drama or something. And what did she say? I just read it. Something about.
Oh, it should be my notifications, right? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Recently, a member of the community stated that several of your subscribers illegally used the YouTube copyright system to take down his video. Will you and Evolve address these claims today's podcast?
Told on you. Told the T report.
Okay.
From here. Because
Some of my community, my subscribers illegally. We talked about that on Saturday. I told them to put it back up, and I told India to leave them alone. They're gonna listen to me.
So YouTube, you heard it here. They didn't send them out.
They illegally used the YouTube copyright system. I don't know if that was illegal or not. I don't know if they did anything illegal.
No,
I don't know. I didn't look into it.
No,
it's not really libertarian.
Well, they reported it for harassment. So if he was harassing you or bullying, your harassment/bullying.
That.
So
they
might have the case.
Yeah, that's actually so that could be substantiated. I mean, we asked for it.
She told on you,
but we asked for it though. They might have harassed us, but we kind of asked for it. And I mean, I actually thanked Drama for helping us out.
That's
we couldn't have made that. We couldn't have done that whole lesson, that whole charade.
She
without
told YouTube on you.
Who did?
She told YouTube. She made sure
that
YouTube. She tagged YouTube.
Is it she or he?
I'm looking at her picture. That's a she, right?
I don't know.
It looks like a she.
But anyways, T report.
What?
T report. You didn't private message me, so you tweeted it out. That's why I'm gonna talk about you.
Right.
If you would have private messaged me that, then you just threw it out to all of YouTube anyway. So T report. I hope this addresses it to your satisfaction. I don't know what else I could say about it. I apologize to Drama for whatever my other subscribers reported him for, and I asked him to put it back up. I asked him to put the rage video up too, and he hasn't posted that one yet.
Why I gotta address it though? Why I gotta be in this? I ain't do
He ain't got you on there.
Yeah, no. He said, "Will you and Evolve address?"
Oh, he didn't at Evolve. Well, he doesn't know you're at on Twitter.
Oh,
he's at Evolve.
Oh, he put me out there.
Let me put it. I'm gonna put you out there now. At. Got to make sure you get. There you go. You are tagged in that now.
Man, I just got I just got a whooping from. I just got privileges back.
You just got out of the corner.
I did.
Out of the YouTube corner.
Oh man,
because of Woo.
That's funny.
Oh,
who has COVID? Right? What was you saying here?
I don't know. I said maybe I can get Jordan Peterson on my thing.
Oh, do he have COVID?
This is Louis Vandecote. Lousy Vandecote. I don't want to keep saying Louis, but it's lousy, I guess.
So
lousy
Jordan has
Vandecote.
What, he has COVID? Jordan?
I don't know if Joe Rogan or Jordan does. He didn't answer me. I said who. But this was a response to a tweet. See, he said, "What are the topics?" Joe Rogan always has his topics days in advance.
Hey.
I said, "Well, he has a staff, and he's a pro. Thanks for even putting me in the same category."
There you go.
Maybe I can get Jordan Peterson to do an interview. I would love that. If I had like a top, Jordan Peterson would probably be in my top 5.
Your top 5
people I would like to interview.
Oh shoot, why?
You ever heard Jordan Peterson?
No, I don't.
He's an intellectual, and he's kind of a what do they call him? He's like an old school liberal.
Okay.
but very libertarian leaning. But this dude is smart, man. I mean,
okay.
and you can just like slow pitch him a little, and he will. I mean, you just sit back and just let him rant.
Yeah.
I mean, he is like got some of the best rants ever. Joe Rogan's done like a bunch of Jordan Peterson interviews, and they're like, it was like the first ever hour-long podcast. I know it sounds bad because we do hour-long podcasts all the time. You guys watch them.
You do.
But for me, my attention span is kind of messed up. But Jordan Peterson interview with Joe Rogan was probably the first hour-long podcast I ever watched.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was recorded, though. You know, we kind of keep you guys involved because we
there you go.
Talk to you and stuff.
Like B Square said, movie Hillary. I've heard about the Milk Hillary's America. I haven't watched it.
Oh yeah,
I heard about the movie.
I heard about it too. It's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I heard about it. I ain't got a chance to look at it though. No.
Lou needs to make me this banner.
You need a bigger banner and say something like, okay.
But hey, so we're gonna do this video you wanted to share?
Yeah.
Let's do that. I'm interested now.
Yeah.
Kind of goes into what we've been talking about. What's this stand-up comic mixed martial arts? Freak Party. What is Freak Party, Joe? See, I'm following Joe Rogan.
You are. I seen that.
Yeah.
You don't follow Lousy?
He's got meth in his method. I don't mess with that stuff.
Wait, is that what his bio said?
There is a meth in my method.
Give me 1 minute. How's that where I can send it to you?
Down with that. You got to be libertarian. I don't just follow libertarians. I follow some leftists and some rightists and, people in between and stuff too. It's mostly it's Libertarian Dave. It's my political activism Twitter. So it's mostly politics related. So if I don't follow you, and if you have a political channel or Twitter, whatever, then I'll follow you. So. I may be doing an interview on a small YouTuber's channel later on this week too. So, what is he? So, does Jordan Peterson or Joe Rogan have COVID? Oh, it's Jordan Peterson has gotten COVID. Jordan Peterson is battling COVID-19. That sucks, man.
I sent it to you.
Yeah, it's Jordan Peterson. He's got it. That sucks, man. That's
Jaws. Oh, so he did know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Yikes.
This was October 3rd, man. Could we get an update 3 days later? How's he doing? He traveled to Russia to seek treatment. Okay, for that. You know, it's funny that a lot of intellectuals suffer from this right here.
Anxiety
and insomnia. Like they can't shut their brains off.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep Jordan Peterson in your prayers.
For sure.
Hope it gets better, man. It's one of my heroes right there. I love listening to that guy.
There you go.
Hopefully we can get back behind the mic soon.
Right.
We ain't done with you yet, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah. All right. So we're. I think I don't know what I
clicked on the ad.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna get 100 ads just like that one.
Yep. Congrats. Liberty, freedom, art.
What? Did you just send me a link to my own YouTube channel?
Okay. No, I thought it was the last paste thing that I copied. Oh yeah.
So we're just gonna link to my own.
I got it.
See, this is why we're not Joe Rogan. This is why we're not Joe Rogan.
We had somebody on deck that was like, pull up the link for us. Let me COVID
cure is banned in the USA. Lou, what you talking about?
Jeffrey Peterson. Is it Jeffrey? I don't think it's Peter. Jeffrey Peterson.
Is that the rapper or the pastor?
It's the pastor. Nope, it's not him. Jed Peterson. The Fallen State. Okay, I remember that. All right. I'll find it. The Fallen
State.
Jesse.
Jesse Lee Peterson.
Jesse Peterson.
Let me see if this is the guy. No, that's not the guy. You guys colorful.
Brian from New Jersey. Yeah.
It's loud.
Just go to the one I'm looking for.
I got this is volume right here too.
Okay.
It's all the way up.
Oh, so they just got ear spanked.
This is the last straw for this computer.
Brian
Saturday
from New
will be on
Jersey.
my
You're
laptop.
on the air. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Is that the one?
No, it's not the one. It's his trailer. Let me just pause his trailer so I can
No,
get to it.
I'll turn it down. You can
Okay.
find it, but
I found it.
hey, man, who's still watching? Somebody say hi to me.
Hello.
Sorry, I don't have topics and stuff, man. You're all right though. You know, I really should pay attention to the news, but you know, I'm.
They said you should pay attention.
Yeah, Libertarian Devil's been on me, man.
Oh.
He's been on me about. Don't you watch the news? And I'm like, no,
No, I
it's
don't.
depressing. They ain't showing none of my libertarian people anyway. So, but I
1 week. Where are you, kid? UCS.
Oh, the wow.
Okay.
Hydroxychloroquine. Is that what you're talking about? Hydroxychloroquine? It's banned? Who said it's banned in the US? Trump went down to the bunker where they got like 5,000 tons of hydroxychloroquine and got juiced up. That's why he's fine now.
Where are you? Okay, let me just get it on my
You got a
phone.
lot of videos.
Oh shoot, he puts it out, but this one, like I said, on my phone it just came right up in order.
No, I like this. Calling your name.
Yeah.
Politics and rappers. I wonder why YouTube's algorithm has got you pegged.
Right? Yeah, I mean, it came up. I was like, okay, let me look at this, and then I found someone else to react to. But all right, give me just a second. Let me give you the right link.
Oh. Oh, we still getting his preview thing. So. This is why we do this. Testimonials, a powerful celebration of the bond Jesse Peterson is all about, the return to the Father. It's a celebration year. Y'all Bond has been doing this for 30 years. Now stay tuned for our 30th anniversary celebration. It's going to be a hootenanny of a time. Really? There we go. No. Was it this one? Let me see.
Protection all around us. We can feel your presence within us. So God, you let the words that will come from my mouth, the very motives and the meditations of my heart, be acceptable unto you, God.
I'm going to share something with y'all just for a second. So,
God, I'm so grateful for the privilege of impartation. So God, I pray as well that those that have an ear let them hear
Um,
what the Spirit of the Lord has to say to the church this morning.
Get it?
God, we're so grateful that
Okay.
let's see.
3 come. And I look at my phone and it says you have 7, literally 7 people watching.
Say hi if you're watching.
It says 7. I'm just.
It says 7. It says 2 on mine. So say hi if
And
you're
it
watching.
says 3 on here.
Oh, 3, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
State.
The fallen
Can
state.
you turn it up again, or
I'll take care of it. So, fix this up first. All right, y'all, 7 or 3 or however many
Yeah,
of
so
y'all
we're-
are there. Y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this?
Are you ready
That's a
for
song.
this?
That's
This
a song.
is. That's someone's intro.
All right, we're going to be pausing this and
We are.
speaking
Sure.
on it. So,
It's gonna be
so
a
hopefully he
good
doesn't
clip.
copyright me.
No, he
He's a
should.
Christian, right?
Yeah, he's
I'm a Christian,
something.
so-
He's something.
So,
He's something.
so
What point is this? This is 55.
Pastor-
Just in case I want to clip this, I think this is just in case I want to clip this. All right, this starts at 55. minutes.
Pastor, if you're watching this,
Hey, Chris is here.
please don't copyright me.
He's on Twitter, so you gotta follow him.
We're doing this all out of love.
I should.
So, what's up, Chris?
Should tweet him right now.
Tweet who?
Just saying, react into because he's on Twitter. He tweets every like 10 minutes.
You want to tweet him before we get into this?
Tell him, hey, react
It's getting
into.
late.
It is. That's what
You sure?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm good.
All right. This is for you, Chris. He's the only one that said hi.
All right, Chris. All right. Everybody
All
else
right,
just watches us.
Get some volume here.
I got a message from
We
Demi.
held a rally at USC, a Black Lives Matter rally, right? What made you hold that rally?
It's the rapper.
Because I wanted to uplift people in my community and give other people a chance to voice their opinions and be heard.
And that's why you decided to do it?
Mhm.
And how did that work out?
Yeah, we're trying.
So
to
I organized the rally and organized speeches, and I was able to get other Black USC students to speak, and they spoke so profoundly and emotionally that the president of USC was able to hear them and make changes. They made changes to the police department at USC. They took down the names of certain buildings that were named after eugenics leaders, and that's because we used our voices and were heard, and it's because we created that space for us to be heard.
And how is that helping the Blacks? In what way is that helping them?
So now, like, we don't have to go into a classroom that is named after eugenics leaders that were, like, specifically organizing our oppression. And we also don't have to feel threatened by, like, the police force at our own campus when we're students there, because this rally that we did brought the police chief out, and he made promises to changing the structure of his police force. So, like, now we can be comfortable at USC with in our own community.
So
So
you guys are
I'm going to tell you right now.
I think you might say it with some.
I mean, this kid's heart's in the right place,
He's a rapper.
but
Big time rapper on YouTube.
really,
Yeah, big.
he doesn't sound like he's very good at interviews, though.
No.
Um,
But he gets into it. He I think you'll say.
So,
Go ahead, but I think
it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't sound like he was well prepared
Mhm.
for this. I don't know if what he was expecting, but it doesn't
Right.
sound like he's getting exactly what he expected. And he's got good answers,
Mhm.
but he doesn't sound like confident. And what gets me is it's making me feel like, this guy just walked into the snake trap. You know what I mean?
If you
So I mean, we're going to continue watching it, but I just want to put that out there. And this is why I always ask when I'm asked to do interviews. I always ask what the topic is
What
and
the
who's the
topic.
audience. You know what I mean? Because I want to know those
And
things
I-
going into it, because you're not going to throw me to the wolves. And you don't have, when you get thrown to the wolves, you don't have a chance to fight back.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
You get surprised. You get caught
Yeah,
off
yeah.
guard, and
Yeah.
it's just and you listen. You hear the interview with the pastor, who's a Republican, The kid says that he, on his YouTube channel, he got a show. He's got a rap song about libertarian and how he leans towards it, and he's independent now. But his dad was a libertarian, and his mom was a Democrat, and but he made his own way. He made it into a nice flow. But I did my own thing.
He did a rap?
Yeah, I did. He did. Yeah, this is a nice little rap song. So that's what. But anyway, if you listen to the pastor, you listen to his answer, and you listen to what he's saying right now. He's like, and how did that help the black people by you organizing?
I see where he's getting.
How did you can see that his next line of question is gonna be. So he talked about the police force. They feel scared. So imagine, he'll say something. Okay, so but let's go on. You can see
the police when you see it.
Those are the changes.
So when you see the police on campus, it make you afraid?
I mean, depending on like your experiences.
Does it make you afraid?
I'm not afraid, no.
Oh, and do you know that the crime rates are going up in the black community now that you guys stopped the police? Do you care about that? Because the normal black people, they want cops in their community. They want more cops.
What is a normal black person?
Right.
One that is not mad at the white man and blame him for everything. But
That's normal?
Now we get into it. Now we're getting into it. This is where I stopped, Dave, and I said, "Oh man, I'm gonna react to this if Dave don't."
So you haven't watched past this?
I have not lost. This is where I stopped.
He said, "What's normal?" He said, "Oh, that don't blame the white man for everything."
So,
is that normal?
This is where I stopped. So I haven't seen anything from this one. I bust out laughing.
Is that normal?
So
is that normal? I'm asking you. Is that normal? Is that a normal black person that would just blame white people for everything? Isn't that racist? Anyways, let's move on.
Go on.
We can't. We'll never get through this thing.
No.
Never. There's no way we're getting through 17 minutes.
Well,
let me ask you this.
What makes that normal?
I'll tell you, man, but let me ask you, because of time.
Okay.
Do you care that?
See, you can't do that.
Right.
You can't do that.
You
You can't do. You ain't in charge, man.
Right.
You trying to debate somebody, but then you ain't gonna answer the question. And he has a legitimate question. Is that normal?
And
Why is that normal?
And he said
You
because
need
of
to
time.
answer that.
And we're 17 minutes. He's got this whole interview.
That's a legitimate question.
That is a legit.
The kid's asking a legitimate question,
had it.
and he won't answer it. So he got to throw his little plug in there, his little slam. But then when the kid comes back with it, he's gonna go step out.
We ain't got time.
Yeah,
we ain't got time.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Because of that crime rate going up in the black community, their children are being murdered by other black people. They're being killed because now when they call the cop, they're not coming. Does that bother you?
Are you saying that like with defunding the police? Okay, so
does that bother you that now it putting other black people's lives at risk?
No, I don't think you understand what defunding and abolishing the police really means.
It means you don't want a police department.
No.
No. That's not what it
When
means.
the black people, that's what's happening.
No, you don't
So Matt,
understand
you
what
know,
it means.
does
Okay,
that
where is
bother
that
you
happening?
now that
Where's
the
that happening?
cop all over here, New York, all over?
There's no police here?
They down there. It won't be soon if they can't pay their salary. They won't be around.
You
But
saying
let me
that
train
the
them. But let me
police
ask
have-
you though, does
you
it
guys
bother
know the
you?
police have $2 billion in salary, which is like astronomically more than anything else. If they just cut that to 50%, they'd still have like $1 billion more than everything else. And we'd have more money for schools, for housing, like for healthcare, you know?
If
So
you
like,
got married and the father and mother worked and they're their own way, would they need police money to do that for them?
listen, what I'm saying is you think, right now what you're telling me is you think that,
So you
The
were
kid
talking
got
about
comfortable.
The
The kid's comfortable now.
He's comfortable.
He's
He
like-
turned the table.
He's like, oh, this old timer doesn't know who he's talking about.
Mhm. Yeah, and he sees that. He sees blood. And but he just said something. You just actually just brought that up about
And
the
he got
couple.
that smile too. These kids got
Yeah.
a good looking smile.
Oh, he does. The couples, black couples, and far as single parent homes, that's what
Okay.
Jesse just hit on. He just asked the kid, hey, okay, well, if black people had a mother and father in the household, would they need the police money? That $2 billion. That's what he just asked them. So
I don't know. I don't understand that question.
so
I don't understand.
he's trying to say that there's more wealth because black people are constantly having children out of wedlock, I guess, and there's just too many single
That's
family.
why there's so much crime too. It's not
Right.
because of a lack of police.
Yeah, so
I honestly think that more police does not deter crime. It actually, just.
I don't even know how I feel. I'm
Makes it
not
more
kind
deadly.
of like where he's going right here.
I know
think
you like the kid, obviously.
What's he saying?
Defund the police means get rid of the police,
Yeah.
and there's no police.
Yeah,
So,
that's what
I'm
it's
telling
going
you-
to get to.
I'm telling you, that's
They can
not
see that
that's
as well.
not what police
That's
abolition
what,
means.
you just don't realize, but
No, I
that's what
think
it's all
You
about.
just don't. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
I can educate you.
Ooh.
All right. So basically, police abolition doesn't mean getting rid of 911 altogether.
Mhm.
It means providing an opportunity for things that don't need aggressive police force, like a person you call 911 and they have a gun. For certain, you call 911 for everything, right? For a homeless man sleeping on the street, you call 911. For somebody choking on an apple, you call 911. You call 911 for everything, right? So what it means is instead of having the police control everything and show up for every situation, you have more like community-based organizations. So instead of 911 for, I don't know, seeing a kid by themselves, you call Child Protective Services, or you call this, or you call
You
that.
call a social worker.
Yeah, or something
Does
like
that make
that.
sense to you?
You call.
That makes
You don't
sense.
have to call
Does that
911
make
for
sense
all.
to you though?
Yeah. Instead of
So let me
having
ask,
the
I want to go
police
back to
control
the
every
question.
situation.
Do you believe in letting all the prisoners out as well? People in prison, the blacks in the prisons and the jails. You believe letting them out as well?
Depends on what they're in there for.
But are you in support of that?
I'm
He said depends on what they're in there for.
abolishing private prisons, which is basically slavery. It's private prisons are rented out. They get prisoners, and then they rent out the prisoners to go work for free or for $1 an hour to put out fires and things like that. And then when they get out of prison, they're not even allowed to become firemen. I think that should be
Are you in
abolished.
favor of letting prisons out? People, the blacks in prison out?
Depending on what they're in there for. So if
Again.
there's a person in prison for life for having a gram of weed, yeah, they shouldn't be out. They
Thank
should
How
be
about
in
if someone
prison.
raped someone?
They should be in prison.
How
Yes.
about a murderer?
Yeah.
But so you just only want the potheads out?
Anyone-
He changed that on him.
Is he really ignorant, or is he just trying to sound ignorant?
I don't know. I can't tell.
I mean, is he a big podcaster?
He is a massive podcaster. Everyone try to come on his show. Dude, he done had politicians and you want celebrities. Everyone goes to him. You look at all his videos, millions. I mean, he is huge. And I just, oh God, I don't, yeah. He's so you just want the pie. No, he said a grand.
A gram of weed.
Yeah, gram of weed.
Gram of weed.
Anyone that's in prison unjustly shouldn't be in there. And then what I'm saying is I don't think the abolition of, it's the abolition of private prisons. So I don't think
Oh man, got nicer shoes.
it should be acceptable for private prisons to rent out human labor for free.
Why not? If you do the crime, you do the time.
Doing the
remember
time
when I was
doesn't.
growing up, they had the prisoners on the road, chain gang. They were working the roads,
And you think
building the highways. We were like, yes.
do you think it's fair for them to work for free?
Yeah, because they're doing the time, you have to pay the, if you do the crime, you have to pay the time.
But there's people.
And tough work in prison makes you not want to go back.
Okay,
But there's
so
people-
I do gotta say, I don't know. I think we went over this. I am a little on this
I agree
subject.
with you saying right there. The
Yeah.
tough time in prison.
That's what I'm
makes you not
saying.
want to go back. But I think
I'm a little.
I honestly think that this would work, and nobody ever talks about it, and everybody looks at me like crazy when I talk about it. But restitution, I
Okay.
honestly think it isn't the private. I think private prisons, the way they're ran now, is a bad thing, and it's a shame because a private prison system with oversight could be terrific if it's a for-profit prison system. But it has to have oversight of the judicial system. Now, what I'm talking about is a for-profit prison system where the prisoners earn money to pay for their own staying in the prison and to pay restitution to their victims and to pay for the police officer that arrests them and to pay for the judge and the court and everybody else that was part
I
of
see
him
what
doing
you're
the
saying.
crime. You know what I mean? So you steal $10, you're going to have some restitution in the amount of a lot of money because you're going to have to get arrested and go to court. And not only you're going to have to pay the person their $10 back, but You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a restitution
That's cool.
system. The way it is now,
because I'm not
See,
fully
what,
against
what Peterson,
Peterson.
Patterson or Peterson?
Peterson.
Yeah. What he is missing, you do the crime, you do the time, and the harder the time is, the less you're going to want to go back to prison. But the thing is it's a scam right now. The kid's right because it's nothing but slave labor, because it's in the 13th Amendment, the amendment that freed the slaves. You're right, it was the 16th.
Yeah,
that gave them the right to vote.
Yeah, I thought it was the
but
15th,
the 13th freedom, the 16th gave them the right to vote.
Yeah,
so, or the 15th.
15th. I think it was the 15th.
15th, 16th was women's right to vote.
Yeah,
or 19th. Anyways, just drifted. So in the 13th Amendment, it says that it doesn't apply to prisoners. So you can be if you're in prison, you're a slave. Mm-hmm. They can use you as slave labor in prison. So the problem is they take your tax money to pay for roads, and they use slave prison labor to build the roads. You see what I'm getting at here? Mm-hmm. So they're still taking our money and still using the slave labor of the prisoners, and the victim of whatever crime the prisoners did get no restitution.
Gotcha.
So there's still no restitution. We end up having to pay taxes for the police, pay taxes for the judge, pay taxes for the prison that houses them, pay taxes for the roads that the prisoners are working on. We pay all these taxes and stuff. So it's costing us all of this money, including the victim that the criminal robbed or beat or whatever, still has to pay all this money. It costs you less money to not turn in somebody that robbed you. To be honest with you, if somebody stole $100 from you, it would cost more money for you to have them arrested for it.
Yeah. See, a system like yours, I would be with far as them if they wanted to do the minimum wage. But I was just saying that I'm okay with them not just getting paid, the small wages. I'm kind of okay with the small wages. I wouldn't be okay with them. Oh, they should be getting minimum wage. They should be getting, by law. No, I feel
they should be getting. If they get paid, though, they need to pay restitution.
So with that, I'm okay with
to everything that costs money. In other words,
that's a good
our
system.
Tax money.
That's actually good.
Our tax money no longer funds the criminal justice system. The criminals fund the criminal justice system.
That's really good.
Because the lower the crime, the less you need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hey, we only have enough money for 10 cops. Well, obviously, crime is so low in your city, you don't need more than 10 cops.
It's a great system.
You know what I mean?
Never heard it put like that.
So the higher the crime, then the more money you're going to make, and the more cops you can hire. It's a free market criminal justice system.
Who said that?
Who think
about with that?
Oh, it's in tough answers to.
That's such a great system.
Short answers to tough questions. Dr. Mary Ruwart and Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism. That is an awesome book. But it talks about that restitution system. Is it a perfect system? Will it have the ability to be corrupted and stuff?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
I mean, it could be corrupted, but I think that corruption would be a lot easier to spot than the corruption that goes on now. Mm. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're going to be able to see that pretty easily. Like, oh, no, this guy just, because he's a computer programmer, he just got sentenced to 25 years for pickpocketing? No. So you're going to be able to see, because that would be a very profitable guy to have in prison.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
All right.
But that would be easy to see. So let's keep going.
Base.
Okay. I keep forgetting.
People in prison, there's people in prison for reasons that they don't deserve to be in prison for, and they're doing slave labor.
They wouldn't be in prison.
I wish this kid would just learn the term victimless crime. Mm-hmm. If there's no victim, there's no crime. That's what the kid's talking about. It's not injustice that's gotten people thrown into prison. Unless you consider victimless crimes injustice. If there's no victim, there should be no crime. Consuming something should not be a crime. You cannot victimize yourself.
That's a good tweet. Not all injustice. There's a difference between injustice and victimless crime. Because these two do. You're right. Something like that. And this ain't the only instant where we categorize it wrong. You know,
Yeah,
so
let's see if the kid gets it right eventually.
President, do you smoke pot?
No,
You don't smoke
but it's
pot?
okay. Like if
You
people
don't
do,
smoke pot?
no,
Why not?
because I mean it doesn't appeal to me.
And why not?
Do I have to have a reason?
Yeah.
Why?
Why
At
not?
first, it's like
That it doesn't appeal to you.
I don't know. I mean, it just never has.
You never smoked it?
No, I mean, there's no reason for it.
So
But
let me
like
ask
I'm
one-
saying, I don't say that it's wrong for people to do it. I mean,
Is
and now it's
anything wrong? What do you see as wrong?
things morally wrong,
Like what?
like some of your opinions.
Like what?
Whoa, you're right. He's comfortable. You're right.
Man, I thought the kid was
Oh,
going into the snake
shoot.
trap. I think the interviewer just got
Oh,
got hustled.
shoot.
That kid just came in there chewing his nails and stuff, and he hustled this guy.
Wow, that's good.
He set him up.
Oh,
Man.
yeah,
He's
that's
like
good.
some of your
I'm
opinions.
so gonna react to them and stuff and follow them too. That's good.
Like what?
Some of them are morally wrong, like the
Right.
fact that you think slave labor is okay as long
Yeah,
as it's in prison.
absolutely.
You think slave labor? Is
When I
okay?
become president, I'm gonna acting tough. They going back on the highway. They gonna build roads.
I
They
really-
ain't getting paid. They'll get a meal. That's for water.
So you want to restart? You want to bring
Chain
slavery?
gang. Yeah,
Slavery?
yeah. What chain
You
gang?
believe in slavery?
Well, slavery was a necessary need at the time.
I heard. That's what I heard in that other clip. I told you. I mean, in that other 3
Look at the look on the kid's face.
like, are you serious?
Look at this kid's
He's
face.
looking at the camera guy
The
like,
kid's like, oh, this is
yes, all right. I love this kid.
He's like,
That's awesome.
what is wrong with
That's,
our,
that's
you know how-
exactly what is wrong.
You know how the grown-ups are always saying when they look at the kids, like, what is wrong with our
That's
future?
right.
The kid's going, what is wrong with our past?
Right.
This old guy just
Oh,
said
that's good.
slavery
Oh.
was necessary.
That's-
Let's see if he goes into more detail.
Right.
What?
Oh, you know, I thought you had it
I got it
muted.
on the soundboard. The kid
Yeah.
just was like, what? So I gotta agree with it.
Would have been a slave.
You could have.
You would have been cool with that?
If that was the time. Did you know that it was the blacks in Africa who sold the higher class blacks, sold the poor blacks to the Arabs, and the Arabs was the one that took the blacks around the world and sold them?
And you
Are you
think,
aware of that?
yeah, but you think that
So
makes
that-
it okay for slavery to exist?
Are those blacks in Africa racist for doing that to the other blacks?
They're
Slavery wasn't racist necessarily.
It was
It-
more of a moral.
I think it kind of created racism because it's hard to, it's hard to enslave somebody and think of them as equal to you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you got to think of them as less of a person in order for them to be a slave. I mean, it's
Mhm.
kind of, if you put yourself into that mentality. But I mean, I think it kind of probably created racism. But, if, because you didn't really you don't have that racial thing in like Europe and stuff. Well, you sort of do, but
Mm.
it's not as bad as it been in the States.
No,
because-
that's true.
because in Europe there was like Irish and Scottish slaves and stuff. There was white people that were slaves as well. So if you were Irish or Scottish, there's a lot of Europeans who still think that the Irish and the Scottish are lower class of people than English and French
True.
or whatever. So I mean, there's still that kind of thing that goes on too. So it's it wasn't necessarily a racial thing. It was an economic thing. I think the racism part of it just kind of developed out of it.
Yeah, through the systems
yeah.
and different things that were set in place to try to keep this thing
And
going.
really, the racism today, I think, is still just a remnant of that.
Yeah.
It hasn't worn off yet. But old man here isn't winning me a lot of points. The old guy isn't. You're not doing me proud there, old man. I was on your side. I was like, the old guy, he's gonna do us proud.
I thought
This
he
kid
was
is
coming at him. I thought he was
doing it.
laying the foundation.
Okay, I hope so. Let's see. We're about halfway done. So
morally wrong.
Are they racist?
Racism is a concept created by like Eurocentric beliefs.
What?
I don't think.
What does that mean?
Did you go to college?
What does that mean?
Eurocentric.
Yeah, kind of like a
It's
European.
kind of the concept
view.
of centering everything, your understanding of humanity and reality around European
Yeah.
beliefs.
Yeah.
Are you saying that so those blacks who did the same thing, that are doing the same thing in Africa, are not racist, even though they're doing the same thing as slavery here? You're saying they're not racist for doing it, right? And
No.
they run Africa, but they're not racist.
Okay, I don't think you understand what
Are
the
you
term
saying
racism
they're not
is.
racist? You better yes or no.
They're
Black
morally
people.
incorrect people. They're like people that
So are the white people morally incorrect people here too?
Yes.
But not racist.
racism is a concept constructed by white people. So it doesn't make sense. Like racism it's a concept that didn't exist until it was created by like Eurocentric beliefs.
Who told you that?
Yo,
Men are
like
slaves.
I'm just not sure. Did you go to like have formal education?
So you learned this in college?
I mean, you learn this from like college and even like world
Did you know
history.
that before you took college?
Did you
What
take
time?
world history like in high school?
So you learned it in your world history class?
I mean, you just if you read like books or Google is cool.
And so when you were reading books in your high school in world history, they told you about history and then they said, this is racism? They said that to you?
Well, they teach you like a light version of it, and then if you're inclined, you do more research on your own and you learn. It doesn't seem like you.
Did your
do
parents
that.
know that they were teaching you that?
Yeah, I mean, my parents did their best to educate me. I think they did well.
Okay. So let me ask you, you never did answer this question. We're running out of time. Now that Black Lives Matter want to defund the police department, more blacks are being robbed, raped, killed, and murdered as a result of that. Does that bother you?
It's
Where?
not like where are you getting these
Crime got up
statistics?
in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles as a result of fewer police, prisoners let out of jail, more blacks are being affected by it. Does that bother you?
Where are there fewer police?
No, answer that question.
I'm
first,
like,
because of time.
No, but I can't
Are
answer
you
the
bothered
question.
by that?
I can't answer the question because there's not fewer police. There's police forces. Everywhere.
They're not hiring as many as they used to now. The mayor of Los
Within the
Angeles cut
past
back on the
2
salary.
weeks.
I mean, on the money. You won't answer that question though. Are you bothered that crime rates are going up and blacks are affected first and foremost? Does that bother you?
That's not true.
I'm asking you, does it bother you? Let's say it is. It is true.
Let's say it
We're
is.
gonna run out of time. I don't have time to play.
That's not true. Don't answer
But
that.
does that bother you?
It's not true.
Yeah, the
If it
premise
was
is
true, would it bother
If
you?
it
If it
was
was
true,
true.
yeah, but it's not.
Okay.
Yeah,
When you find out it's true, will you change it once you find out it was true?
What is you?
You don't understand what the.
No, I mean, he got him though. I mean,
I don't think so.
I see what the old man's doing. He's saying that, you know, if defunding the police, he said it was true. He tried to make it sound like it was true. I don't know if it's true or not.
But
Then he's like, fine, it could be true. But so he turned it into a hypothetical. And he said, okay, well, if you find out it's true that Black Lives Matter and defunding police has caused the police force to go down and crime to go up, and that the black community is being harmed more than other communities because of it, are you going to feel bad about it? And will you stop your Black Lives Matter protest and your defund police protest? That's what he's saying.
It's just the one side.
So he's saying that if in fact you are defunding the police equals more black people being hurt, will you stop crying out to defund police?
Where does that hypothetical end? I mean, and I just said, okay, if that, and then if I find out it doesn't, then I mean, it's so many ways.
That's what the kid. Hopefully, the kid maybe he comes back with that.
Yeah,
and says,
you don't.
Well, if we find out that defunding the police actually equals less incarcerations and death and murders and crime and stuff for black people, will you agree that the police should be defunded? He should flip it right back around.
Yeah, he doesn't. You don't answer these. You don't. He's trying to get him to answer his preconceived, his already preconceived notions, and that's not sustainable for an argument in an interview. I mean, bring the facts, but if we're operating,
it's like the old man's trying to control the conversation. Yeah. He's trying to, he's saying that, you're going to answer my questions, but I don't have to answer any.
Yeah, he has these.
So it's like a one-sided argument. It's kind of like the presidential debate. It was just a bunch of one-sided arguments.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, I don't want to see what
I
it
don't know why
says.
we're having this conversation because you're not open to like letting me educate you because you don't understand what the abolition of police means. You think it means getting rid of any type of law enforcement, which it doesn't.
Okay.
Like you're just not. You're not. Like,
In one of your lines of your rap music, you say, "Look at Karen, man. She want us dead and use the cops, so she don't have it. So she don't have to do it."
mhm.
What does Karen mean?
it's talking about the Central Park lady
the dog.
who used her white privilege as a weapon to try to get
Mhm.
that upstanding black citizen
Yeah.
arrested and possibly killed.
Yeah.
So basically, a form of white supremacy is using your privilege, especially specifically as a white woman. You can use your privilege to basically hire like an informal hit person to like come, as long as you sound distressed, come and murder a black person because you know the odds are they're going to take your side over the black person's.
I've never heard it put like that. I kind of like the using the police. You basically hiring when you make that call and do stuff like that. You're hiring a hitman. Right, that's what she did. She hired a hitman. I had never heard. That's. I like how you said that. That was. Yeah, but yeah.
But I'm glad that it was on camera, and I'm glad it backfired on her.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully everybody out there saw that and will think twice about trying to do that again.
Yep.
So like, for example, you seen like the videos of like a black person minding their business or something, and then like a woman comes up and says, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here," and he says, "No, actually, I live here." And they say, "No, you don't. Like, I feel threatened." And then they call the police and say, "This person has a gun," even though he doesn't have a gun and he does live there. But when the police come, who are they going to believe? The person that was like crying on the phone, or the black person that you said that most black people are like violent and aggressive? So when the person calls, knowing like everyone has this racist idea that black people are violent and aggressive, when the police come, they're gonna be like, "Do you have a gun?" He's gonna say no. He's gonna try to like show that he doesn't have a gun, and then he's gonna get shot. And then the woman that wanted the person dead, even though she knows that he wasn't doing anything wrong, she gets what she wants. I'm 20. I said that already.
What did you tell me? I forgot.
In the beginning, 22.
22.
Mhm.
Is the word Karen, is that a slur against white women?
No, it's a name.
It's the same as the N-word? Does it have the same meaning that an N-word would have if someone call you that?
No.
So Karen is not a slang?
He just
Karen is a
completely
common.
avoids everything
You
the kid
seen
talks
that?
about.
You seen that?
That's okay. The
Oh,
kid
but
made
it's
his
not a
point.
slur.
No.
So a lot of white women.
It's a way
named-
to belittle, and it's a
Karen.
tactic.
Yeah.
Amazing. So
I had a professor named Karen. I had
what
several Karens, yeah.
do you believe in your song? You
Everybody
said
knows what
white
Karen
women
is.
want black men dead. Is that true?
The ones that call and say that a black man is holding a gun and they feel threatened, even though the person doesn't have a gun and they know the police will come, assume the person has a gun, and potentially kill that person. Yes.
You also say F the police in that song. You believe that?
Yes. Yeah.
And what made you say F the police?
I mean, we just had a whole conversation about
So
it.
you just say they're against the blacks.
Sure.
Do you want
I think, did you know where the police started? Like what police originated from?
what?
Slave patrol. Did you know that?
No.
You didn't know that?
Who told you that? They told you that in school?
No, it's common history.
Oh, okay.
American history, yeah.
Do you
I think
want,
you should like look
do
into
you
that.
want- do you want
I'm looking at it. I don't know about that.
Have you learned about that?
do you want responding to 911 to stop?
Depends. I already answered that.
Do you want them to stop though?
Calling 911.
Yeah.
I think 911 should be for specific situations, and they should be allocated to different. Depending on the situation, it should be allocated to different resources. I already answered that. But
So
what
let
I
me
was
ask,
saying
do
is that
you appreciate the risk that police officers take?
sure,
Do Blue Lives Matter?
Blue Lives Matter is an oppressive opposition of Black Lives Matter. It's like all lives matter. You think all lives matter, right?
Yes.
But you don't think Black Lives Matter?
That doesn't include all lives.
It does. So if I say Black Lives Matter, you agree with me?
Personally, I think that it's just
You-
a saying that has no meaning.
So if
Because black lives don't really matter and you can see it in the way black people treat one another and others.
Is this how it always goes?
So let me ask,
No, but so you do think Black Lives Matter? If you think all lives matter,
all
right?
lives matter.
So you agree Black Lives Matter?
All lives.
All lives. So
Yeah.
Okay, so he's doing this thing. He reminds me so much of Trump.
I've been in this conversation with people before.
It reminds me so much of Trump, you know, when he was with the white supremacists.
Well, he said Black lives don't matter because black people kill each other all the time.
He did.
He's saying like Black lives don't matter to black people.
So you sent me something. I didn't look at it. You sent me something about Trump. He went on and denounced white supremacists. After all.
Oh yeah, I did send you that.
He did. He went on and did it.
He's done it
after.
before too. He did it at the South Carolina rally where he said that there was good people on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
In that same speech, he denounced white supremacy.
He denounced them.
Yeah, I can't find the clip. Go figure. But yeah, I had a friend of mine was like, it's definitely there. He's like, you know, that in the same clip where, you know, they use that against him all the time, that he says, oh, there was good people on both sides.
Right.
You know, they use that all the time because it makes him sound like a racist.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Nazis were good people, you know, whatever. The skinheads or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, he said good people. Well, that same speech that he was talking about in South Carolina, or I think it was, he said he denounced white supremacy in that speech also. So, but yeah, this was right after he did Hannity. Right after that, he said absolutely.
Well, he didn't do it on the presidential election.
I think it was just
he ran around.
I just think his brain doesn't work right.
We gotta ask some shit.
I honestly think.
Will you
honestly
denounce? Will
think,
you say those
I know.
words?
I honestly think that
He
because that's
did
where
not
he was like, you know, stand by, get ready. I honestly think he was like, stand by, get ready, because I'm gonna do it. Oh, butterfly. You know, that's honestly what I think happened. And I'm not trying to defend him.
Say that.
I'm not trying to defend him.
I can't defend him.
But it just, I don't know what's worse. If he was a racist,
run around.
I don't know if what's worse, if he was a racist because of what he said, or if he honestly just butterflied.
He did
In
not.
the middle of a presidential election, if he just butterflied. So I don't know.
You got a minute.
It's neither here nor there. But I think we're about done here. So let's check this out.
you agree? So Black lives are a life, right?
What?
Black lives, that's a life. So
I think that Black lives only matters when it matters to the parents and to the children of the parents. If it don't matter to them, then it doesn't matter.
So my
They're both just trying to get the other to say what. It's just trying to.
parents didn't care about me, then you don't care about me?
You would not have mattered.
I mean,
But I
mattered
would
to
care
me.
about you enough to tell you the truth to get you back on course.
To tell me that I don't matter?
I
That'll get
wouldn't
me-
tell you that. I wouldn't tell you that it's the white man's fault. Do you love white people?
White people, I love all people as long as they love.
How about white
keep loving- yeah,
You love white people?
I love white people that are good people. I don't like specifically hate any type of person as long as they're good people and care about others. Like for example, I just want to get back to like that you're not able to say that Black Lives Matter. Like I just want you to say it because if
Say
you
what?
think all lives matter, you said that.
It only matters to the parents and the children. To anybody else, it doesn't matter.
So you don't think all lives matter.
I do think, but not.
You do
I mean,
think
it's
all
up to
lives
the person. I'm not concerned. It's not going to affect me if someone else decides that they don't want to take care of themselves.
No, but I'm saying you think all lives matter,
Yes.
and a Black life is included in all those lives. So you think Black lives matter.
I don't need to say Black Lives Matter. When I say all, I mean all.
So you're including Black people.
But I know that Black lives doesn't matter to Black people.
So you're including Black people when you say all lives matter?
Yes.
So that means when I say Black
Yes,
lives
it is.
matter, you
I'm not
agree
gonna say
because you
Not
think all lives matter.
But let
So
me
that's
ask you this.
including Black people.
Do you think
I
white
don't think
lives
you
matter?
understand what you're saying.
Do you think white lives matter?
Sure.
You sure?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. White
Sure.
lives matter.
That's it.
Texas homeowners, all the
Was that
electric
it?
companies
It
are
was
raising their
like- it
rates,
was like
but
that
you
was
can
it.
stop.
He's got another part after that. That's the third part they stopped, but that's it for that clip. He breaks it down into like 17 minutes, and there's a part 2 after that. But yeah, I think they get more into it. But yeah, jeez.
Look, he even got a donate thing. Hey, when y'all gonna start donating to me,
He's
man?
got a huge, this massive.
You need to like. So I always forget to say this.
Yes.
Like, subscribe,
Donate. And the
Donate.
description is my Cash App. So donate
Boom.
so I can get a new camera.
See, you gotta have your Cash App on your StreamYard. So when you say boom, you know when you do the little the evolves here, you're gonna have that Cash App. Saying, here's my Cash App. Donate to so people can see that. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, man, this was fun. This was interesting. Why he creates his banner? You're gonna show the people.
I guess I'll create a banner.
I'm gonna show you his Cash App. I just want to say this was fun. This was good. I like our
Cash App.
I like our beginning, and I like the fact we got on a little bit of voters and brought back a lot of memories and a lot of stuff that I written in the past in my college days. But yeah, that was a big thing. I like to know what you all thought about any part.
So do you think white lives matter?
Do I think that one?
White lives matter?
I think that all.
Do white lives matter?
We can do this whole conversation just like that.
Okay. Do white lives matter though?
Why
Why can't you just say it?
I think all lives.
Why
matter.
can't you just say white lives
all
matter?
lives
huh?
matter.
Does my life matter?
All lives matter.
Does my life matter?
That's included in all lives.
Okay, but I'm white. So
Okay.
you're saying that white lives do matter.
I believe whether you're Hispanic, whether you're Mexican, like, all lives matter. Included.
This sounds like that really did kind of sound like one of our arguments, right?
Right.
Oh man, that honestly did. I didn't even think about that. That did sound like one of our arguments.
Right. So, like I was saying there, guys. Hey, KIP, I was gonna do a reaction. If any of the evolvers coming back, look through it. If you guys come through, I see you guys come through his channel after the video.
Okay.
And check it out. I'm gonna react to this guy. So come through. Look at me plugging myself. So come through. I'm gonna do a reaction on the kid here. I like him even more. I'm gonna follow him on Twitter and all that good stuff. I'd like to know what you think in the comments. As always, KIP. Oh yeah, I seen that. What's the plan? Yeah, because you got church, so we're not doing anything there. We're not doing anything on Wednesday.
We gotta do Thursday or Friday. I'm thinking.
Yeah, probably try to. I can't do Friday because I do. That's why I couldn't do none of the Devolvies on Fridays because I now do. That was the only.
I saw you add me to that ref thing. I was like,
maybe he'll
I'll
watch
watch it.
every.
I'll watch it.
Yeah. So
Are they long?
it's the only day I have to practice with my kids.
Is
on
there any,
Saturday.
is this for football?
Yeah,
Ref and football?
Yeah, that's right down the street.
Is there any significant changes in the rules since when I was coaching?
Just the type of blocking and whatnot. Type of blocking flight. I made videos.
Did you send the page? The 7 pages, right?
Yeah, 7
page
pages.
rules?
But trust me, you watch the 4 videos. I do a good job with the main ones and whatnot.
And you didn't exclude like cowboy football and can't kick out the director.
Not the director anymore. Not the director anymore.
You are the director. You're
Okay.
the director for community for the whole
Director
thing.
for community ball, but not of sports. So, but yeah. See, I lost my train of thinking before.
Anyways, you're talking about Thursday or Friday.
Oh yeah, so
So
let's do it fresh right after it, so that at least that I can set up
Thursday
for,
or-
I can set up for Thursday. I
just
can't.
get back until 9 o'clock from church. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
On
Thursday.
Wednesday. So do it Thursday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do it Thursday.
We could actually even do it early if you want. If you got time during the day instead of at night.
Okay. The earliest I
Do I?
could
Hold
like
on,
is
let me look.
2:30. I think the earliest would be like 2.
Oh, that would be cool because then you could go with me to go pick up the kids.
Okay. Yeah, the earliest. Yeah, I can do 2-ish.
I got 2 messages on. Oh no, that's not Twitter. No.
Oh,
I was like, who messaged me on Twitter already?
lousy. I was like, yeah, you've been calling me out.
No. No, let's see what I got going on for Thursday. So I forgot what I got in the calendar. That's okay. Yeah. So what time?
2?
Yeah, we can do 2.
2? Okay. I'll swing over. Yeah, that'd be. I'll go.
Yeah, I mean it'll be early for most people. So, and then like 3:20, I got to go pick up the Munchkins.
Okay.
Do that.
There you
And
go.
then, yeah, hopefully we can get it all done by then.
Should be able to. Should be fine.
We could put it on Mobison and then just, if we got to leave, just take it with us and
Okay.
continue.
Continue.
No, I couldn't do that because I want to split screen it, put Spike and everything. And I wanted to use this whole thing. So
The last one did good, and I was getting some DMs. They were asking about it. They do want it.
not the Spike.
No, a lot of them, they liked the last debate, and
they
were
I was
asking
listening.
about if
Yeah,
we
me
were
too.
gonna. They were asking if we were gonna cover it,
Me too.
and I sent in the message, and I said Wednesday. I said probably not. He goes to church on Wednesdays, and
So I think it might actually be better. I mean, because we should be able to pause and restart and stuff because we missed a lot because we were talking over.
we did.
We were interrupting the interrupters.
We did.
So
We did.
yeah, we can do that.
We'll do that. So that is that. Boy, we don't.
Man, y'all were not hyped up in chat
We're
today.
not. We're
What's wrong with
here.
y'all? I thought that was really good.
Man, we had some really good topics. I was excited about our.
I was fired up too. Y'all just
good.
slacking.
It's
You know what? Y'all don't
We
start
got people
tweeting
in
me.
here.
Don't start tweeting me complaining about something when y'all ain't even engaging.
Yeah,
the chat.
they come in at 4. I seen 7 in a while ago.
Yeah,
They're
coming through, not even trying to get us fired up about nothing.
Debbie Cake, they be watching. They always watch.
I
They
know,
were
they
one of
always
the ones. They were the ones that tweeted me.
I don't think they stopped laughing long enough to type anything. They think we're hilarious. For some
Yeah, that's funny. Well,
one of them agrees with you. One of them agrees with me.
oh,
I'm trying to figure out where we don't agree with each other.
Yeah. Who agrees with me? Debbie and Kate. Let
Debbie
me
and
know
Kate.
which one is Debbie or Kate. That
Yeah.
way I can.
Yeah, so we can do a new banner that says Team Debbie and
I'm
Team
gonna be
Kate.
like, we'll get my shirt, man. Hashtag Kate.
Hashtag Kate.
Kate for Evolve.
Debbie
Is
for
there that,
president.
Lou?
Kate, Debbie for president.
There we go. So there we go. It was fun. All right. Well, we'll do that. Oh man, this was fun. I like this topic. I might even cut that. I might cut our first one. That was good.
I think
Voters.
I didn't
and
like
the
the video,
suppression.
but
We hit it. We hit on it.
I think the kid was pretty well spoken.
I was talking about
I think both
our
of them-
first
I think
part.
both
We
of
really
them are-
hit on first that
Oh, yeah,
voting,
yeah.
the foundation, and
Yeah.
everything. We hit on all. That was good.
I think
But the guy
I think both of them were kind of a little too extreme for
too
me
extreme.
on both sides of it.
Yeah.
I think the kid was less extreme, but he kept saying abolishing the police, but that it didn't mean abolishing the police.
Yeah.
I was like, well, why is it abolishing the police then? You're saying abolish the police, and then saying it doesn't mean
It doesn't.
abolish the police.
Yeah.
Downsize the police, supplement the police with social workers. That's a different thing than abolish the police.
Then again, he is just turning 20.
22.
22. I'm 22. So he's young. He's young. Man, what was I doing at 22? I know. Shoot. No, I was an adult. I was super adult.
I'm not talking about it.
I was teaching. Guys, I got my first teaching
I was
job
in the
at
Army.
19. I was like a 19-year-old or had my first teaching gig.
I was in the Army.
You're in the
I
Army.
was drinking a lot. I was consuming mass quantities of alcohol, waking up in strange places,
Yeah.
in strange positions.
It'd be better for this cast for me to talk about my 20. I think he might get demonetized if
I
he
won't
talks
even.
about
I won't
his
even.
20.
I don't even remember my 20.
That's a lot of
I
drinking.
don't even remember.
That's a lot. That's fun.
It's the Army for you, though.
There you go. But would you go back if you had to do it again? Would you go back in the army?
Absolutely.
You would.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Actually, if I had it all to do over again,
Yeah,
I
do
wouldn't,
it all.
I
You
wouldn't
wouldn't
drop
do
out of,
military.
I wouldn't drop out of high school.
Okay.
You
For
know,
the
I just-
military.
No, I didn't drop out of high school for the military.
You're
I
just
dropped
done
out.
with school.
I dropped out of high school because I was an idiot.
Okay.
I was a very, very smart idiot.
Right.
Yeah, and then I joined the military just to get the hell out of LA
Right.
before it killed me.
Okay.
So,
So you wouldn't do military over again?
no, I really would. I always wish that I would have. I mean, my heart was always in sciences. In the sciences,
Okay.
biology, chemistry, physics. Especially,
Gotcha.
I love physics. So I mean, that's always where I was drawn. And I honestly feel even now that, you know, when God puts something in your heart that you're really passionate about and drives you in that direction, that's probably what your original purpose was. So I think that, you know, probably was something in physics or
That one did good.
sciences.
We need to do it, man. That one did good. I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know that's
It's a goofy one, yeah. It did do good. I didn't even know it had 17
Right.
views.
I didn't. I just looking now.
I didn't even know.
Look at that. Oh shoot. Anyway, KIP. I gotta use the bathroom.
I gotta
Keep
I don't have a
positive.
scripture. You got a scripture?
Oh, what were we talking about? We were
Pasta Evolve has a scripture.
Oh,
I do. I was
See what we're
man, did I
talking
close that? Did I close?
So you need a scripture on being appointed and being called, because we were talking about voting and whatnot.
Well, we were called to freedom.
Mm.
That's the Galatians
Yeah.
5:13. But then I already said that one 100.
Yeah.
But we go over it again. Galatians
Called
5:13.
according to his purpose. That's the scripture I'm thinking of.
Called
What is-
according to his
Called
purpose.
according to his purpose. Yes. What's good? Type that in. That's a good one. That you should. Dang it. It should come up.
Called according to
To his purpose. Proverbs or Romans? What's Romans?
Romans is one.
Let me use the bathroom. Let them do this.
All things work for the good.
Together for the good.
Yeah.
Those that are called. That's your scripture. Being appointed, being voted. Yeah, you can go with that. Many are called, only few are chosen.
The way is narrow that leads to life. The way is wide that leads to destruction. Something like that. Yeah. But in other words, it's easy to do the wrong thing.
Yep. And the only way it's with all things. There's only one way for all. It's funny because I like this one because, and I'll let you go.
The New Living one?
I mean I like this particular scripture. I like this part of it when he say that all things work together for we know that all things. I go where we know that.
Yeah, this leads into Romans 13, which is what I talked about earlier about how it says obey, submit yourself to the authorities or whatever. All that stuff.
Yeah, so in this one, and I'll let you go over it. You can actually read it, but I just like all things in order for all things, because there are some things that are just not going to work out rather in flesh, but there is a way where all things will work. And then he goes on to explain the conditions if you want everything to work together for your good. And it's those who love him and those that are called according to his purpose. I like the King James version of this. Yeah, and we know that all things work together for the good to those that love God and to those that are called according to his purpose. So,
Aren't we all called according to his purpose?
Valid.
I think the pastor went through this one, which is really interesting.
Now people are coming in.
I didn't think about it, but pastor was talking. Well, we got 5 comments. Right?
Yeah. Oh shoot.
All right, go for it.
Chris knows his
Romans
Bible.
13 convention. Oh yeah, that was basically what Chris. Romans 13 is what everybody uses against libertarians because it says submit to the authorities. You know what I mean? Like God appointed the authorities. That's what all the Trumpsters,
Okay.
God appointed Trump as president, so we have to obey Trump. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But the authority in the United States is not our government or our elected officials. The authority in the United States is the Constitution of the United States. That is the authority, and the government officials are actually the ones in violation of that authority, in turn in violation of God's authority.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way to interpret Romans 13 as a libertarian.
All right.
So that's just one. I encourage you to check out the Libertarian Christian Institute, lci.org, I think it is, Libertarian Christian Institute, and they've got a Facebook page too. Check them out. They are a great resource, and they will pretty much demolish Romans 13 for you. So pretty handedly, and it's funny that they come up with Romans 13 as the end all be all of why we should submit to government, but there are, oh my God, there is just countless numbers of scriptures and passages. I mean, I've shared many of them at the end of my podcasts. But there's just so many scriptures that speaks of God wanting us to be free and to experience liberty and to freely choose to obey his will and in opposition of government authority and stuff like that. There's just, it's just scripture after scripture. I mean, was it Solomon or Samuel? I always get it mixed up. The one when Israel was begging for a king, and he was like, "You want a king? They're going to take the best of your crops. They're going to take your sons to fight their wars. They're going to take your daughters to clean their palaces. They're going to take your money and give it to their officers." And he was like, "They're going to do all these horrible things to you, and you still want a king? Fine, you'll get a king." And so they got Herod. I think it was horrible king, did all those things that Solomon said. It's just, the Bible is just full of references to freedom and liberty and, and to the end of oppression. And I don't understand. They grab on to Romans 13 and be like, you have to submit to government. Well, government is the only one that can oppress you. You know what I mean? Come on now. Jesus wasn't a fan. Although I think he did convert Pontius Pilate, but I wasn't a fan. Is it prescriptive and not descriptor? Yeah, and there's also the thing is that whether you take it contextually or not. If you take Romans 13 contextually, then you think about it. If Paul was not, he was telling the Christians, which was a very small group of people in the Roman community, right? He was speaking to the Romans. That's why it's in Romans 13. He was speaking to the Romans about obeying the authority of Caesar, because such a small amount of Christians, if they didn't obey if they didn't submit to the authority of Caesar, they would have been wiped out. So he absolutely had to tell them that you need to submit to Caesar. And he had to say it in such a way that they feared for their lives, because it literally meant their lives. Like if they would have not submitted to Caesar, then Christianity might have died right there in Rome. So government did kill Jesus. That's what they said. What was one of my favorite memes is like, how many AR-15s did Jesus own or something like that? Not enough to keep him from being killed by the government. He wasn't actually killed by the government, though. He was killed by his own people, the Jews. So Pontius Pilate tried not to kill him. he actually converted the government. Jesus did. I think Pontius Pilate became a believer at some point, but knew that this was just, Jesus basically told him that you got to do what you got to do. I understand, so, but, was the Jews weren't actually the government authority at the time, so, and they were the ones who forced Pontius Pilate's hand in crucifying Jesus. But it was all God's will anyways. It was going to happen. If Jesus willed it, then it was God's will was going to be done. So, it's the same thing with Judas. I shared last time about Pontius Pilate when Jesus said, "I've come to bring the truth," and Pontius Pilate tells him, "What is truth?" A lot of people take that as sarcasm. or like he was just blowing them off. But what if Pontius Pilate was actually asking for Jesus's his counsel? Like asking Jesus, well, what is truth? For a Roman governor to ask a Jew for their counsel at that time tells you that Pontius Pilate was converted. So. Well, he wasn't killed by you. He was killed for you. Well, he died for you. So I guess you could say that. He died for you, so he was killed by you. But he forgives you. I mean, the ultimate sacrifice and the ultimate forgiveness. So whenever you think you can't forgive somebody, just think of the forgiveness that's been given to you. I said he washed his hands, but did he? I'm not that biblically, I'm not really like a real good biblical scholar and stuff. I'm still kind of new. I finally found a church after 20 years of looking. So I've been in church really steady for a year and a half since I found my church. So, and I wanted to share, and I'm going to do this one of these days, maybe after the election, I guess. Because I know everybody wants to hear about the election stuff. So after the election, my pastor did a really good 4th of July sermon. And I want to share it with you guys. It'll be like he just goes through all of the liberty scriptures, all the freedom and liberty scriptures, and it's pretty awesome. So the scripture that Evolve was talking about, the New King James Version is, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose." So all things work together. I believe this because I think God created the universe. God controls the momentum and direction of all things within the universe. Now, control our will or not, but those things, those actions on me getting sciencey again and mixing my religion with sciences on like a quantum level. Like if you look into things like quantum entanglement and stuff like that, you see that on a quantum level, things are happening that we don't witness. There's a study that says like a certain percentage of the human race begins to think a certain way, like ending slavery or smoking is bad, stuff like that. When enough human minds start to think in unison a certain way, that it advances the entirety of society, like the entire human race will move forward. So, and that's like quantum physics happening, where we're all connected in this quantum realm, and whatever affects in that realm affects what happens in our realm. So when it says all things work together to the good of those who love God and follow his purpose. So if you are in your purpose, for God's purpose or the universe's purpose for your life, which is controlled by God, then everything is going to work to help you with that purpose, because now you're following the purpose of God. So it's the same like the cells in your body. So every cell has a particular purpose that it is made to do. So when the cell is operating within that purpose, then all the other cells that function with that cell will work to help it accomplish its purpose. Now, if the cell goes off purpose, it starts to die and disintegrate, and it no longer is functioning, and things work against it because it's not working within its purpose. So it's like your body is like a microcosm of the universe. Go ahead and put that in your pipe and smoke it. But anyway, so that's how I kind of see that scripture. So appreciate y'all watching. I got to get out of here, get some dinner, put these kids to bed. I love y'all. Love your neighbor. God bless y'all. Remember the 2 primary commandments: love God and love your neighbor. There's also a good song from Danny Goki that says, love God and love people. Check it out. It's one of my favorite songs. So appreciate y'all. KIP. Keep it positive. Peace.